Yo, 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 another guitar lesson here. Today we're going to focus a little bit on tone. Let me turn these. I probably should have moved my pedal board for this, but I just kind of had a spur of the moment idea. I haven't talked too much about tone. I had a question the other day I saw on the Grateful Dead, one of my Grateful Dead videos about getting a good tone for a certain song, and I thought I'd do a little lesson here. So the main thing you want to really understand first is your amp and your guitar. That's really where your tone starts. So I'll tell you, my amp's way over there, so I'm just going to start with my guitar here. So basically, in other words, you want to start with your dry signal. So your dry signal is just your guitar is plugged into your amp and then the output. So I like to think of it as a spectrum, and it's the tonal spectrum, which is what you have on your guitar, and I'll show you a great example right now. So if I want the thinnest tone I can get with this pickup, I got the volume knob, now I got my tone knob here. This is the thinnest. I have it set at the top at 10. Now the thickest tone, or it's kind of muffled. So this is the same guitar, same note. That's the tone knob at 0. So 10, 0. So a really good thing to do is, if you're going to try to figure out what something does, test the extremes. Whether it's a pedal, whether it's a tone knob, turn it all the way on and then turn it all the way off, or in this case turn it all the way to one end of the spectrum and then all the way to the other end of the spectrum, and that's going to give you a really good idea on what you like and what you don't like. I know the thickest tone I can get on this guitar is, and this is kind of more of a jazzier kind of tone. You know, a lot of the jazz guys, I studied jazz for a little while, but that's kind of what they go after. Now that's an extreme version of it. Now the thinnest I can get, I actually can change my pickup, and so now I have the thinnest on this specific pickup setting, and I've got this kind of sound. It's really pretty brittle. And this is where you get like I'm not good at this. Kind of a country western kind of sound, a bluesy country kind of vibe, you know, like a Telecaster kind of sound, very much more on the thin end of things. It's actually harder to get a good tone out of this. You just have to have a really good touch, and the best guys that play with this kind of tone have excellent touch, I would say. And it's a good way to practice, actually, because I'm doing a lot of muting with my right hand here, like. I got to be pretty gentle with the strings because they're just so sensitive. But anyway, getting off topic, that's the dry signal, okay? So there's a lot of options. I like to set mine at this pickup at the thinnest, and just kind of, this is kind of my bass line. So this is where we're going to be coming from in this lesson. So let's take a look at some pedals now. So, and I would really encourage you as a practice to get good tone. In other words, your fingers are what's in control of the tone. Yes, the guitar matters. Yes, the strings matter. All of it matters. But at the end of the day, it's your fingers. So a good exercise is just to play a lot with the tones on your guitar first. So just the thinnest tones, and then the most muffled, the thicker tones. just play with that for a while and just get comfortable with that sound, and then start to dial in what you prefer. So same with the pedals. So let's just do a little bit of a reverb. So I've just got a touch of reverb on here. I really like reverb. In fact, when I play with the Grateful Dead band, when I play with Satori, my original band, and definitely with the church that I play with, Reverb Pedal is almost always on. Here's no reverb. I can kind of move it a little bit, get a little bit of sound there, and then reverb. It's a little more full. So again, if you want to really know what this pedal does, let's crank it. So I've got the mix. Let's do the mix it all the way. And now decay's at 12 o'clock. So you can really hear it now. Before it was a little more subtle. Almost sounds like a different instrument when I'm playing those higher notes. It's just big sound. I will do the decay all the way up. It's just cranking it. Now that thing is going. So that's what it does. So let me dial it back a little bit. I kind of just like it at 12 o'clock. Now this reverb pedal has like 6 other types of reverb. This is just kind of I'm just going to go over each pedal and just different tones, the most popular one. So we're not going to deep dive into the reverb. But like I said, I really like it. Kind of fills the lead lines out a lot when you're soloing. And the chords are just really pretty in general. Yeah, it's just a really nice sound. Now, let's move upward and onward. Let's take a look at delay pedal here. So delay pedal. Again, there's like 12 settings on this one. There's a lot. It's a digital delay pedal, but I'm going to keep it on the standard setting so you can just get a good idea of what that is. And we're going to set the knobs around 12 o'clock here. And so we've got, here's a delay. So that's one note I played. So that's, I would say that's heavy on the delay. Here would be a chord. So as you can see, the delay can create some really cool spacey effects, really cool atmospheric kind of thing. So I'm going to dial it back a little bit and you'll get this kind of thing. So it's not as intense. Really fills the notes out. So if you're playing like solo guitar, if I was playing some solo guitar that was really relaxing or something. Anyway, that's just what that does. Now with that and with reverb, mixing and matching some of my favorite tones here. So a lot of fun to be had with that. You can hear that. So now let's just keep moving though. you've got your distortion pedal. Now this is important. It's taken me a while to kind of understand the overdrive distortion kind of thing. So what I have here is I've got two overdrives. One is for more like high gain, like heavier, thicker distortion, a lot of distortion. The other one's more subtle. So here's the subtle one. So you can get a good kind of a dirty sound there. You know, you get that palm muted kind of effect there. It's not super heavy, but it's got a cool sound to it. And it's really good in blues. That kind of thing. So it sounds really nice for bluesy stuff. And that just adds, you can set it to where it adds a little bit of volume, so it's a little bit of a boost, but it's also going to break up the notes. You start to get that classic distortion sound. Got my amp kind of loud. There, that's the full gain on that pedal right now. Then I got a boost on it. Heavier, and obviously I can put reverb onto these as well, but let's just see that combined with the so this has got like super high gain now, so this is where you can get away with stuff like I would do like more like pull-offs and stuff like you know, the shredder kind of stuff. It's just a heavy guitar sound. So that's what I got. That's what I'm working with. There's hundreds of different types of overdrive pedals so the most sage advice I can give you is get more than one, because for a long time I just had the heavy one and I didn't have that in between, and there's a lot to express there, and there's a lot of really good tones you can get there that I was missing out on. Since I've gotten the overdrive pedal with less distortion, I'm really excited. I have like a whole new voice with that, so that's very important. And if you're just doing the less distortion, that can be fine if that's your bag. But if you want to get into the more like shreddy kind of stuff or like heavier rock, then you're going to want a little bit of a thicker one as well. And then I've also got the QTron, which I've talked about briefly. This one is one of my newer pedals here. And it's one of my current favorite pedals. And the volume pedal down a little bit. I also have a volume pedal. That doesn't affect the tone, just the volume, of course. So this is where you get the Jerry sound. Yeah, a little Fire on the Mountain there. And I've been also working on Run for the Roses. Those are some of the lines on that, which is super cool. So that gives you an idea. If you want to sound like Jerry Garcia, he didn't use a ton, but it's very distinct sound. So he has it on quite a few songs, and it's super cool. I just love that pedal. So anyway, just keeping this video not too long. I do have a few other pedals, but for now, that's just kind of a little bit of a look into what a good amount of my pedal board is, and also just some of the basic sounds you're going to need besides the Jerry pedal. That's a very specific pedal. It's called an envelope filter, by the way. But anyway, if you guys want more discussion about tone, I can dive into that also. I haven't really talked too much about that on my channel, mostly been theory and things of that nature. So yeah, let me know what you think. Peace.